Alrighty, right. So now you know what an API is, how to make API requests. I will just quickly show you a small difference, which is authenticated requests. That basically just means in your header request or just with the API request that you just sent before, you also send some type of authentication that is linked to your account to whatever service you use. And that is because you cannot really log in, use your browser username and password to do that, but you get an API key or a token that you can create on a website like CoinGecko. And here on CoinGecko, you will just go and check the API, click on it, get your API key now. It's very simple. It'll give you a long string of letters and numbers, and then you put that in your environment file. And in that environment file, you name it the CoinGecko.api key. We load a library. If you remember, that is just a set of codes and functions that you can use. When you use this function, load.env, it basically loads everything that is defined in your environment variable for you. But of course, you can also use the terminal and set your environment variables simply by yourself. I will show you in some later place how to do this, but right now this is not necessary. You have an if API key. That means if this is not none, that's just how Python works, then you will get API key loaded successfully. That does not mean it's correct. It just means that whatever is stored in this variable exists, and this is not nothing. And otherwise you will get an error. So for example, I name it wrongly, there's no CoinGecko Pi key, and you get API key not found. All right, and then similar to how we did Binance, you can go on the documentation. Here, CoinGecko is really great documentation. It's an amazing service. It gives you so many requests for free per day. I think it's like 10,000 per month or so. So you can really use it for a lot of projects. Then this is what I mentioned. You add the header, and this is what the API key has to be called. This is the API key. You do the same thing as before. We combine the string and we get a Bitcoin price, but this time from an authenticated request that is from CoinGecko. And we can get different type of URL parameters, for example, the market cap, the data, and you can go through the documentation that CoinGecko has, and that is actually really useful, and try to figure out what those endpoints mean and do. They have so many different type of endpoints that you can use, and we can format the request. Basically, we go through, this is a type of nested dictionary. It's a JSON. JSON and dictionaries in Python are pretty much the same, and you can iterate through this. If you find this a little bit complicated, ask your AI to explain whatever you have here in GitHub Copilot or Cloud Code, Codex, or what this code does, and you will very quickly understand. In the end, it's just this, it goes through the first one, and then for every one of this Bitcoin fields, it prints every of these fields, then it goes through the second one, and that's just very basic programming loops. So we have different type of endpoints, which is the coin ID that you can see on the CoinGecko API as well. And you can do the same thing over here. So please try it yourself. Go a little bit through the documentation and try to find different endpoints that you can use. They have common use cases. This is the coin ID. Basically, I really just went through this and took the first example and tried to show it to you. And to learn, I think it's very important that you just try yourself, play around with it, try to swap some parameters, different type of endpoints, and you can also just paste it in the browser as I showed you before. All right, this is it. Thank you.